Good evening and welcome to the Team 7 podcast. I am here with my good friends and colleagues. Colleagues first, friends second. Asher and Zach.
I'll take
How
it.
is everyone tonight?
So good, man. It's good to be back.
Yeah.
Good.
It's only been a couple weeks in real time, but this week we're talking about the batch 215 through 222. We are just coming out of an encounter with Sasuke and Naruto. Actually, we come out of the reveal that it will be Sasuke and Naruto that see each other for the first time since Orochimaru's hideout. Very beginning of Shippuden, so it's been a minute. So we had that encounter, so let's start there. We didn't get a fight, which, were you guys surprised by that? Did you expect a fight now? No. Yeah, I mean, it didn't make sense for them to fight.
No. Everyone was
and
tired.
Sasuke had legitimately, Sasuke was going to be very tired.
Yeah.
He had done quite a bit leading up to this because, I mean, he did all of the Five Kage summit and then fighting Danzo and then immediately into this. I mean, he's going to be depleted of chakra for sure.
Yeah, it makes sense his eyeballs don't work no mo at that point, but I didn't think so because as long as Madara's around, it's like, I mean, what are they going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Also,
what do you mean? Who's they?
Really anybody, but specifically in this case, like Kakashi, Naruto, Sakura.
But not okay. Yeah. I see.
Was it in this batch or the previous one where Kakashi was about to use some kind of something that he used on Deidara? Yeah,
so he says it, so I don't feel bad telling you guys the name. It's Kamui.
Yeah.
So he started to use that on Madara, and Madara basically was like, don't even try it.
Just held out the hand. He said, talk to the hand, boy.
I ain't listening.
That's weird.
No, he just put his hand out. I was like, there's no use in that. It won't work.
Okay. So pretty early on in the episode, let's bring him up. Lore Master Jet Kirby. When you reference Naruto, and I don't know if you're watching along with us or not. First of all, would love to know if you're watching along with us. I assume you are at this point. Are you watching in dub or sub? Because at this point, the three of us we're all in dub. I'll watch sub if I've got plenty of time, but since I know the two of you guys are watching dub, that's the only one I'm really super concerned about, unless I look up something specifically, like I'll pull up the episode.
Can we vote?
Version.
See what he thinks? I want to make a call.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think he has watched both.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm asking a preference. There's no way he's not watched both.
Oh, okay.
Sure. I was going to say, I think he's watched both, but I think his preference is sub.
Okay, yeah. Well,
I'd venture a guess.
So back to Madara. So he takes Sasuke away, and then the Hidden Leaf have Karin, who rightfully so is kind of depressed.
Sure.
She comes out of that and she's like, I loved him even after, and she still had to fight herself from it. She had to be like, why do I care? He just shot lightning through my heart. Yeah, insane. But yeah, so she's going back to the Leaf. Ibiki was brought in.
Yeah. We love Ibiki.
We do. And then basically from there, we get a lot of setup for the Fourth Great Ninja War. What happens after that? Let's talk about it.
I would say the thing that stood out to me the most once the war was kind of announced and not officially declared there was like a 5 to 7 minute montage of just gossip and rumors of war between all the different parties at play.
Yeah.
It was kind of interesting to see like how that ripple in the pond can just push out, and like you see all these different people talking about it, which is no different than any society, you know. All the 5, you know, villages have, you know, their own history and everything, but like they're coming together and everyone's like, I don't know, it seemed like they kept saying over and over, you know, Shikamaru to Choji was like, the 5 great, you know, villages are like not against each other. We got to come together to fight. And that same kind of tone kept happening and happening. I was like, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. I think it's to like reiterate that they're committed to it, and that like doing it is such a choice that,
right.
And you even hear it in I think it was the Cloud Ninja that are like, I'm not teaming up with them. Like, these are the people that we fight against. And now suddenly they're asked to be partners, and just for a common cause that would save the world, and something that they all have interest in. And it's still like, I don't want to fight next to this person.
Sure.
Which is
it's very much a have to rather than like nobody wants to, I guess.
Yeah, I would say so. And I would imagine the further that goes down, like at the Five Kage level, and the next few like rings of leadership down, I think that it's still very like clear of like, okay, of what the stakes are and why this is the decision and behind it. But I think the further you go down, the more it becomes like I don't really understand this, like this is bullshit, like type of attitude.
Yeah,
sure.
Well, I do think as far as the villages wanting to fight together, I think Leaf and Sand would probably be on board with each other. And then what is it? The Mist?
Yeah, the Mist. And so the Tushikage is the land of
Earth,
and
Rock, Earth.
Their hidden village like in the stones.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, I'm like stumbling through that trying to put it together. But Mizukage is the hidden mist. And then the Raikage is the hidden cloud. And then the Tsuchikage is the hidden stone. That name feels wrong.
Yeah.
I know it's not hidden rock either. I don't know why I'm blanking. This feels weird, but I think it is stone. Like, I'm almost positive it's stone. But
I think
can't say
we'll call it stone. Stone and cloud would be like, nah, screw you all. Like, we'll kind of do our own thing. But like, that just kind of proves how severe it is that, like, you know, like Madara's plan, and the fact that you laid it out to all of them is kind of interesting to me. It doesn't seem like it seems like a villain thing. I'm thinking of Dr. Evil, like getting the world's superpowers on the horn and being like, here's what I'm going to do.
But I get that though, or I understand what you're saying, and I don't know why that's a thing. That's a thing in like several anime that I've watched where they'll take the time to be like, here's exactly what I'm going to do. And and it's like, is this the way that we want to tell the audience? Because it feels like that's how you're trying to tell the audience what the villain's motives are. But can't we do that another way?
Okay, so I have a different perspective on that, because I've always looked at that. I've always looked at that as like cockiness of like,
power move.
I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you what I'm doing, and there's no way you can stop me.
Yeah.
You know, and there's like, you know, plot holes that can be pushed from that, because, well, if you hadn't told them, then they definitely wouldn't have been able to stop you, you know. But I think that's like the demise of someone that's that power hungry and evil.
Sure.
Is like, I don't care if you know, because I'm going to pull through anyways. and sometimes they don't, sometimes they do, and if they do, something else happens to where it's not as bad usually. But yeah, I've always considered it like a power hungry,
Sure,
desperation almost.
Cocky makes a lot of sense too.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think so too. I just I still think that it's
silly.
Like it takes me out of suspension of disbelief.
Yeah.
Because even though like you say that, I can like see that, it still feels more far-fetched than like I don't know of a comparison that I need to give here, but it just feels far-fetched. Okay.
Sure.
Just deal with it.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't know. Go ahead.
I was going to say real quick, because I found my note that I bet Kamui would have just sent Madara to that otherworldly zone where he kind of like throws Sasuke at one point. Do we ever get like
wait, what
clarity on?
You're saying
so,
what? No,
I'm sorry, I'm going way back to like Kakashi trying to use
yeah,
Kamui
no, I'm with you there,
Madara. But would that just send him to that zone where Madara is already sending Sasuke to get him out of danger? And that's why he's like, hey, don't even bother.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going down a rabbit trail because I just found the note and I got excited.
So yeah, we don't know where we don't know where Obito, like, okay, so his eye that he gave Kakashi, we don't know like what his jutsu was going to be. So that typically those jutsu aren't like 1-to-1. So like wherever Madara is taking himself in and out of, we don't know where Kakashi's now eye is going. So we don't know if those two places are linked or if we don't or not. Like the show's not told us that.
Right.
So the short answer is I don't know. The obvious answer is we will find out. But it's just in time, and I'll tell you that that's not going to be for a minute.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, it gets complicated, but
it's purgatory. Whatever. This is all lost. Who cares?
Yeah. How about this? I don't know if that's even like the right. Maybe that's not the right question here, Asher.
Okay. I don't know what I don't know, you know?
Yeah. Sure. And that's it. I don't know. It's hard to, I'm dancing around spoilers and it's really hard to keep it out of, I don't know, spoiler territory, but like giving you an informed answer.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Let me go back to what we were talking about real quick before we move on from like explaining your plans. So another thought I had on that is like the perspective of who it's coming from. Because essentially Naruto does the same thing to Sasuke. He explains his whole idea, his whole plan, his whole goal, and what he's going to accomplish. Right. And so that to me isn't cockiness, it's confidence. It's truth and belief of something greater. Whereas
also doesn't seem like a great plan, but
sure. Whatever. But it's at least more noble than like I'm going to take over the world.
100%.
Like it's evil versus good intentions. One feels cocky, one feels confident, but they're still doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? You guys agree with that?
Yeah, no, I agree with that totally.
Yeah.
I had that thought whenever we were talking about Kamui.
Yeah, I don't know. It's totally carried in bias whenever I find it acceptable and whenever it's not. So I get that because I do hear Naruto saying those things, and I'm like, yeah, I mean that's what he's gonna do. It's Naruto. Sure. And then I hear like Madara show up at the Five Kage summit and display his plans, and it feels, because of his power, it's like, okay, like he can get away with it, but because of like just the nature of war and reality, it's like, why would you ever, like, why would you, it doesn't matter, like, why would you even, like, even out of your like most arrogant moment, like it would still be a bad move to give away any advantage.
Right.
And that's what I mean by like it does like just kind of remove me from the moment for a second, just so like, why would you do this? It feels like a mistake.
Right.
But
I'm saying the same thing about
Naruto's
Naruto.
doesn't feel like a mistake though.
Right. Because they both could be accomplished in a secretive plan. Like if Madara was just talking to Zetsu and the remaining people that are loyal to him, and Naruto was just talking to the peers that he gives his report to, of like, here's how we can get Sasuke back. I feel like we got a plan. This is my goal. Can you help me or not?
Right.
But instead they like just lay it out in the open, and they're like, Sasuke, I know you're like on this path, but this is my plan, and you will come back to the village with me one day, you know? And Sasuke's like, just shut up. Why are you still talking? Like, hey, what does he say? Why the hell are you so infatuated with me? You know?
Yeah.
And it's the same
Give
thing.
him a kiss.
Yeah. The same thing could be done in a back room in a secretive plan, but one of them is, you know, displayed in a cocky way, and one of them is confidence.
Yeah. I feel that.
Well, they leave, go back to the village, and then we kind of see everybody leaving the Five Kage summit at this point. It feels like that was a while ago now, but I guess in real time in the universe, it's only been a few days at most. And we get a little surprise. Who do we learn?
Surprise.
Who do we learn is around Asher? Asher texted me and Lance angry because I had absolutely.
Dude, you did a really, really good job. Like in hindsight, I'm like, oh, I should have known. But the last episode we recorded, you were like, yeah, you know, Kisame, isn't that crazy? He just dies. And we were all like, yeah,
I was like,
it is
I even was like, I forget
it.
He dies right here all the time. Like I always forget that.
And it never occurred to me, like, why did Logan forget?
Yeah. But I do forget. That was the truth. Like I always forget that happens. But
freak that guy. He sucks.
He does.
His little grin in the like interior of the sword.
Yes.
I'm just like, no, he's still here.
Yeah.
And to find out the way they came about that plan, oh, dirty.
He is the worst, dude. He is the worst.
And then Zetsu's like, can I have my body back now, please? Like,
Zetsu's the worst in a very different way. A very different ick is happening with Zetsu.
Why Zetsu gives me ick, like he wants to like parasite onto me and then just like watch my life. And he's like, don't worry, you won't even notice I'm here, but I can like feel him watching me. That's why Zetsu. Black Zetsu feels like he wants to drink my blood and then look at my body with no blood.
Yeah, which I'm more okay with. Like,
I'm more okay with it because I won't be there for it. But why Zetsu wants me alive?
Yeah.
He's like, don't worry, I won't hurt you. And I'm like, that's worse. I wish you would hurt me.
Yeah, hurt me, please.
The scene when he just kind of pops out of the lake whenever they're all talking and Madara and Sasuke are there, it made me think of the scene in Toy Story at the end when all the toys are coming against Sid and they're coming out of the puddle,
nice,
the like mud puddle. I was like, this is gross. He's just like oopy and goopy. It's gross.
Yeah, he is gross.
Yeah.
Well, so we get a lot of like just you got to keep in mind. I know you guys know this, but got to keep in mind this show is a weekly show. So by the time we got to 218, most of that episode, most of the next 3 episodes ish is just like recap. There's
like borderline filler, but it's not like a new storyline.
Yeah, it's not filler, but it's like it's stuff we've all seen before. So it's this weird in between. It's still canon material, but like we said, we've seen it before. So
something we haven't seen.
Before we get to that, would you all go to B's concert?
Yeah, I would.
I think so. At
this point, I would too. Yeah. It doesn't seem like a lot of other people are having concerts in this universe either, so I'd be like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. You know what else they're not doing? Zoom calls like the feudal lords. What are we doing?
They're running out of power for those Zoom meetings.
Those cameras are on batteries. He said, we've got 1 bar of battery left. Make a decision. Okay, let's wrap it up. And they're in the middle of a heated debate. It's just so funny to me, man.
I also literally put Zoom meeting for the feudal lords.
So good.
Oh, man.
The feudal lords are so lame to me. They're just there.
Dude, the feudal lord in the fire region or whatever, I think he's in on some Madara shit.
Yeah?
I think he's drinking that Kool-Aid for sure.
Okay.
Either
just
he's
to be
the
clear,
most,
so the land of fire, the fire feudal lord, that's where the Hidden Leaf Village is. They're in the land of fire.
I know. But I'm saying, like, when we see him toward, I can't find the note, but there's just something about him that's like, either he's so aloof and that's meant to symbolize like leaders who are so far above like the everyday kind of person that they're just like, oh, that's happening? How unfortunate. Or he's in on something. And I tend to be a little more of a conspiracy theorist.
Sure. Trying to figure out what number to place Kakashi at, that to me was like, this guy's just dumb.
Right.
And it could be a ruse, and he could be, playing dumb. But the feudal lords have the role of like that. Like, have you guys seen Dune? Like, they feel like the Bene Gesserit type, like behind the scenes in the shadows.
Right.
But they all just feel like worthless.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't seen them till episode 217. Any feudal lords, like, how important can they be? Sure. I don't know. That could just be a big reach on my part, but.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it just seems like the politician who's in, for us, like in Washington, D.C., and like how connected can they be to the actual goings on of like the everyday person,
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
They're not watching Naruto.
True. They're not.
They're doing some seedy stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. I think the through those episodes, the rock carver was a great bit of like comedy. Like, it got a little predictable, but even then I was like, I can't wait for the next, thing that guy has to deal with. So
yeah,
I will say that was a great bit, but also it was kind of predictable.
Yeah.
Knowing like,
how are you going to say the exact same thing that Asher just said as if it was your idea?
Did he say predictable?
Yeah. Asher, back me up. Yes, you did.
I don't remember him saying
literally happened before, and I said something that Zach said, and it was like close to verbatim, but I was like kind of going in a direction, but it was definitely like, hey, Asher, you weren't listening to anything that Zach just said.
I meant like predictable in the sense that like I feel like I knew Kakashi wasn't going to be Hokage.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like he was going to have to be told, "Hey, stop," because somebody's
Right.
actually either taking over or Tsunade's back in that regard. Not like
Yeah.
the comedy is timed like,
Right.
I meant
I
like I could feel the plot coming on of like Kakashi's not really ready, that.
Sure. I'm really glad Tsunade woke back up too, but I really had a feeling like, I mean, maybe she's Gonzo just to kind of get rid of the Sanin at this point, to where we're like, hey, it's up to y'all. It's up to the next generation of Shinobi,
Yeah.
Well, we see the great nations getting ready for war, and then we see Naruto is called to mount. Help me with the name. Miyaboku.
Miyaboku.
I think that's right.
Miyaboku.
And he gets told his prophecy, which is exciting. What do you guys think is the octopus?
I mean, knowing Killer Bee's 8 tails is
Has to be, right?
an octopus.
Okay, yeah. So that's pretty
I mean,
obvious.
it's the Boltopus, but sure.
Octopus.
It's a weird hybrid Pokemon kind of thing.
It is.
You left them at the daycare for too long and they become the Boltopus.
They're an emulsified version of each other now. Yeah, so pretty cool. I think that we get to see Naruto and Bee spending some time together coming up.
That's an unlikely pair, by the way. I am pretty excited to see them interact because, like, what are they going to talk about?
I think,
sure.
Yeah, actually, I'm interested to know what you guys think their dynamic will be. Do you think they'll get along?
No, I don't, because
really?
I think they're so similar in their own villages. They're both, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs when it comes to social activities. And I think that because they're both similar in that way, they're going to be like, this guy's annoying. And so
you think they both won't like each other?
Maybe less on Naruto's part, but I feel like B's going to be like, get out of my way, fool. That's my prediction.
That's really interesting. See, I was thinking this is based on the fact that B and the 8 tails have somehow come together. That makes me think that B is a little more open to who Naruto is,
like developing relationships.
Right,
but
yeah.
But remember, these nations have been at odds before. They're not friends.
Yeah, but B is like up in the clouds, like the literal clouds all day long.
Sure, I get that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's going to be that easy. I think Naruto is going to be thirsty to figure this out because he knows this fight's coming, and B's going to be a little skeptical. That's my prediction.
Interesting. In my mind, they're like besties already. I don't know what that says.
I hope I'm wrong, Asher. I really do. But yeah, I think that B is, because I mean, we got a different view of him during the fight with Sasuke than what he is in front of his brother, And then there's also some character development, but like Battle B is different than Concert B, in my opinion.
Interesting.
Battle B different, so he's got different modes. That's pretty cool.
Maybe.
I'm thinking
Bumblebee,
Transformers, Beast Wars right now.
Yeah.
Oh my
Shia
God.
LaBeouf's gonna make an entrance, guest vocals.
Shia will be there.
Yeah.
Like how I took half of his last name, Shyla.
Shyla.
They're just going to take Buff out.
I'm going to stick with that, though. I think they're going to be best friends.
Okay.
I'm not so convinced now, but I'm going to just make that my prediction.
Cool. Another thing is Sasuke took his brother's eyes, which is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's tough.
Because now he's got the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. So him losing his sight will no longer be a problem. He can use all of those jutsu as much as he'd like. Amatsuatsu, Susanoo,
Susan,
yeah, sorry. What's the one? Gosh, I can't remember his the lightning that he uses. It's not Chidori. I mean, yes, obviously Chidori, but all of these really high level jutsu that are taxing to his eyes are no longer that way. He can use them as much as he wants and no penalty.
Is it called Big Chidori?
Yeah, that's it. Big Chidori. Thank you. Yeah,
it.
and that's the literal translation. So that made Sasuke a lot more powerful. We'll see that. We'll get evidence of that. But yeah, he is going to be much more powerful now. No limitations.
But at the same time, when Sasuke takes a step, so does Naruto. At what's it called?
Mount Miyaboku.
Mount Mangekyo.
Miyaboku.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
That's I mean, that's how it goes. It's what rivals do. So I guess lastly that I was wanting to bring up was Toby and Kabuto. Pretty big deal. That's crazy though, because we saw something that made Madara, I called him Toby, Madara and Kabuto. Sorry, I'm trying to again. I'm getting mixed up here. So Madara and Kabuto showed Madara something that made him act a way that we've never seen before. What do you guys think that is?
I have no clue.
That was literally the only note I made. Who is in that casket? What could have surprised Madara? Wait. I did have a prediction. I think it's the OG dude with the 6 paths.
You think that that's the sage of the 6 paths in that casket?
Oh, yeah.
That would be an insane prediction. He said, "How did you get that?"
Been called worse.
What about you,
I don't know. That's immediately where my mind went.
I honestly don't know. There's so many options.
Jiraiya. Not funny.
I mean, it could be.
That's on the table.
Jiraiya would be more likely, I think. But
then
I think
Sage
it's the
of 6 paths. Yeah, I mean, I would say so too.
You say a lot of things, though.
I do. I say a lot. I mislead you guys a lot on purpose. I say things wrong on here quite a bit. Some of it on purpose, some of it on accident. But
I think what's in there is a giant-sized ticket to B's next concert.
It could be Orochimaru.
That wouldn't be as hard to believe, though.
With Jiraiya.
Yep, there we go.
I'll make that work.
Kabuto looks terrifying. Hate the way he looks.
Terrible.
Hate the way he looks. It is. He just wants to be Orochimaru.
Yeah.
Well, what else do you guys have on your list? That was the things from my list that I wanted to hit. This is a lot of build up. I will tell you that this is the last time, at least for a while, that it's going to be that way. Just a lot of setup, and now, I mean, it's to be expected. We had a ton of build up for a long time to the Pain Assault, and we just are coming
Right.
off the back of that. So, it takes time to set up and make the stakes as big as they were, and even bigger is pain. So it's to be expected, but it still just doesn't make for great content. It's just kind of like, yeah, we are aware that these things are happening. But yeah, we'll find out the answer to all of our questions and more next time. So the next batch. So let's make a live decision here. So the next batch is, we've got a big skip. So we just finished 222, right? We won't pick up until 243. So we're gonna skip. Yeah, we're gonna skip 21 episodes. Yeah, big filler arc. So we're gonna skip that and go to episode 243. So here's our options. So we can either go 243 to 249, or we can do 243 through 256. So the option is either 2 weeks we do 7 and 7, or 1 week we do all 14, and then the following week would be on to the next bit, obviously. So 7 or 14.
You already know
I know Asher's going 14. Decision. Zach, what are you thinking? Live decision here.
Don't be okay with either.
I want you to make the decision based off your schedule and how much desire you have to make 14 versus 7 happen.
Yeah, I mean, we can do 14. That's cool.
All right. You heard it here first. 243 through 256. We are covering an entire little mini arc. So what we're in now is the 4th Shinobi War arc, and it is long. It's a very long arc. So we're in what is called the 4th Shinobi, or what I'm calling the 4th Shinobi World War, or the Great working title here, but 4th Shinobi War. And then this is going to be confrontation arc. So we will figure out how to present that better next time, I guess. But anyways, 243 through 256, that's going to be an exciting batch. A lot happens. So ready for it.
I'm very excited.
Yeah. Cool. Well, if there's nothing else, then I guess we'll just go ahead and sign it off then. Oh, wait. Just kidding. We've got a pack of cards that we can see the front cover now without any spoilers. What? That's crazy.
Wow. Also, let Naruto eat his freaking ramen, man.
Dude.
Poor guy.
Let him. Eating those bugs, thinking it's ramen. What a flip. Bree and I went to a Korean barbecue place the other day, and it was phenomenal.
I miss having Korean barbecue close by.
I think it Choji too. What, Zach?
Yeah, true.
I was just going to say there's some other stuff that we haven't covered. The seal and Mount Miyaboku that we didn't talk about.
Oh, yeah, and that's now in Naruto.
Yeah, and what was the other thing that I was going to say? The
Guy Sensei?
Yeah, the race.
I did actually forget that Guy Sensei was in this episode, but I mean, that's...
Yeah, the race. I have a very vivid memory of this. Actually even prompted me to text Lance about this. I have a very vivid memory of watching this episode specifically in our dorm room in college, and loving Naruto at this point. I was so engrossed in Naruto is all I was thinking about. Basically, we were playing the games on Xbox 360. We were watching it, trying to catch up, and we were just coming off we were watching so fast and so much at once that we had just watched the Pain stuff a couple of days before that by the time that we were watching that episode. So for whatever reason, it just unlocked this memory of us sitting in our dorm room. And then I texted him. I was like, when did we switch? Because I know we watched dub for a while and then we switched to sub, but I just couldn't for the life of me remember why we made those decisions. And what I know at one point the decision was, okay, we'll switch to sub because we want to catch up. And there was only a certain amount of dub released. but I just couldn't remember when that was or what. But yeah, that scene of them racing for whatever reason unlocked that memory for me.
It's so silly.
Yeah.
Whenever
it's great.
Whenever Shikamaru and Choji are just chilling, talking about like what's coming up, the war, I thought it was over. Like I thought, okay, this is another scene, and then they just jump over top of them. Like it's still part of this race. That was just
great.
to throw you off.
Right.
A lot of funny frames that they had to draw for that.
Right.
Yeah.
I have missed Guy Sensei a lot though.
Yeah. We'll get to spend some time with Guy Sensei.
I'm glad. I have two in the other
we've spent,
rookies and stuff.
Yeah, we've spent a lot of time with just a core group of people for most of Shippuden. It's been obviously Naruto, then Sakura, Kakashi, Yamato, and Sai. And then some other people come in and out, but we got that one arc, Asuma's arc, where we spent a lot of time with Team 10. I think that's Team 10. Yeah, I think it's Team 10. But you guys know, like, Shikamaru, Choji, and Ino. Speaking of Ino, that's the first card up on this.
Oh.
Ino.
I feel like the only thing she says lately.
Do what?
The only thing she says lately is Sakura.
Sakura. We're getting a lot of repeats here, and that's okay. It's because we're opening the same box, or like, the same expansion. I don't know if there's expansions. Ooh, this is a new one though. We've not seen this for sale later. If I could ever get it to focus, it's Kakashi, but you can see his Sharingan. Come on. Whatever. Ooh. Y'all don't get it.
It's focused.
You would understand. You'd understand if you could see it. Yeah, it's focused. We'll just act like it. I feel like you guys can never actually see the cards anyways. But if you want to buy the cards, comment down below because I don't want them. Buy them from me. $200. 243 through 256 is the next episode batch. We will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bing bong.